guys, it's Matt with Tips for Truckers. Another tiny house trailer tip here. As you guys know, I have solar power. Put 2 solar panels, 100 watts apiece. And the thing about solar power, the biggest thing you got to understand is the solar panels do not really power your components. The solar panels charge up your batteries, and then your components use the power from the batteries. And here's a couple solar panel and solar system tips for you guys living in tiny houses, or even just your regular house. Like I said, I just have 2 panels here, 200 watts, and that's not going to give you too much juice at all. You'll probably out during the day, and it'll run, a fan and lights and that stuff, and little different water pump and little things here and there, but it's not going to run your air conditioner all day. But the thing is, like I said, it just charges up the batteries. So if I don't use my trailer during the day, I got enough batteries to last me all night and everything. And the whole point of this trailer is I'm just using it on the weekends. So this charges all week, and 2 weeks when I'm gone, and then they're topped off. I don't got to worry about it. So that's why I only have 2 solar panels. Is perfectly sufficient. And another thing is use real heavy gauge wires. I got 10 gauge wire there, and keep it as short as possible, because this is DC and you're losing resistance the more distance you have. And see, if you have a connection here, I'd recommend using a weather pack connector, but if you're just using something like that, make sure they're lifted up off the ground so they don't get wet too. And then I got them just plugged in underneath here. And I got another video about that. But let's go on to the inside and everything. Here's another quick electronic tip I have. Get one of these remotes where you hook them up. See that white thing? That's what triggers it. See it light up? And this remote does my water, turns on my water pump, turns on my heater, and it turns on my light. And I definitely recommend those for any tiny house. I know, everybody's used to just light switches and everything in a regular house, and it's like a tiny house. Well, it's not that big of a deal to have to walk over here and flip on the switch, but honestly, it does kind of end up being a big deal after a while. But as you guys seen in previous videos, to slide up this door here, and I get to my car, and that's where my battery bank is. As you see, my bed is up top here, and I got my stairs here. So I'm going to slide this up. We're going to get to my battery bank, and I'm going to explain to you about that. You got this little duct tape handle that helps out. Got a little piece of wood to help prop it up. And see if I can get a flashlight for you guys. It's not working. Hang on. Alright, like I said, lift up that door, and my battery bank's over here. I gotta kind of crawl underneath here. As you can see, I got my 2 Group 31 batteries, 110 amp hours a piece, so about 2,400 watt hours of use. So, I could run 200 watts, for a full day. I keep a battery charger here, just in case I need charged up. I can hook it up to my shore power. And there's my big power inverter, like you saw in my previous video. I would recommend having at least twice as much power as you need so it doesn't overheat. And this one's kind of nice because it tells you the voltage and the amps being used at the time. But the biggest problem, or the biggest thing people overlook in a solar system, you obviously need batteries, you obviously need solar panels, and you need the proper gauge wires. But the biggest component people overlook is you can't just put solar panels on batteries and then hook a power inverter up to it and you're good. You absolutely always need a solar charge controller. Now, I found this one for $25 or something like that, and you're gonna love this, because you hook your solar panels up to it and then go to your batteries from there, and you can also run accessories from there. and it's got 2 USB ports, which is kind of nice. But you scroll through the functions, it's going to tell you the how much solar charge is going into the system. It's got that little screen there. I don't know if you can see it. Tell you the voltage, the amperage output, the total amp hours you have left on the batteries, which is nice. Like I said, the voltage, the temperature of the batteries. It'll tell you the temperature of the solar panels, and just all those functions. But the biggest thing about the charge controller is it's not going to overcharge your batteries. And the other biggest thing is you get a real good one like this, a MPPT charge controller. Make sure you get one of those, because that will really help save, and you're going to get so much juice out of your solar panels, more than you ever will with any other kind of charge controller. The reason is it's going to put a lot of volts, or it's going to keep the same amount of volts that is won't overcharge your batteries, and it'll charge them nice and at the voltage they need to be, because the panels give out 18 volts. This converts those 18 volts to 13 to 14 volts, which is good for your batteries, but it doesn't decrease the amount of amps that you're getting into your batteries. So this it'll sense when the batteries are really low and give it the maximum amount of juice. And as you get closer to being topped off, it'll start giving less and less and less and act like a trickle charger. So you really get the best of both worlds with the MPPT solar charge controller, because, like I said, it's going to charge them rapidly when they're low, keep them safe, keep them from getting completely super low, and it also has a battery gauge on there. But the thing is, like I said, it's going to slowly convert that to a trickle charger, and it's going to make your batteries last at least twice as long with the way it charges it up. And I know this seems like a real simple component that you can overlook, but definitely get a good one of these. Like I said, 25 bucks. I'm not one to tell anybody to spend the money, but spend the money on this, because it's just going to save you so much money and headache, and you won't have to have as many solar panels too, which saves you in a lot of areas. So yeah, that's basically all I had to say about this charge controller, and just wanted to tell you every single component that you need in your solar setup. But definitely get your good charge controller, a real big inverter, bigger than you need, and enough batteries to last you however you're gonna use the power you're gonna use for the duration that you're gonna use it for. And then your solar panels just get enough to recharge the batteries whenever you need to, whether that's in a day or if you need a week. You won't need as many solar panels. And that is my video here today for your solar system and all the components you need. Battery charger, good amount of batteries, heavy gauge wires, charge controller, inverter, solar panels, and if you can, the wire leading up to your charge controller and all that, make sure you could shorten it up and lengthen it depending on where you want to put your panels, because if you shorten it up, there'll be less resistance and everything, and you're going to get more juice. But sometimes it'll be better to move it in a sunny spot, and you might need a little bit longer cord. So I would definitely add an extension to that charge controller cord from your solar panels. It's Matt with Tips for Truckers. I hope you enjoyed my tiny house here and enjoyed learning about solar systems.